Welcome to Sheffield City Centre and the British Bouldering Championships Grand Final. After a gruelling qualifying round and intense semi-finals, we are left with the 12 best British climbers. They've been training all year, spent hours in the gym, and with just 4 boulders ahead of them, who will be crowned British Bouldering Champion? A very good afternoon and welcome to Sheffield City Centre. I'm Mike Langley and I'm joined as ever by Gaz Parry, climbing legend, 7 times British champion. Gaz, great to have you with us.
Thanks very much, Michael. It's looking fantastic. The wall's ready, the competitors are ready and the sun's shining. What more can we ask for?
Well, hopefully everyone at home has recovered from the football last night. Well done, boys. And I just want to say we've not got long now to wait before the athletes get introduced to us on the stage behind us and they start their boulder observation. But before that, we have our roaming reporter Elsbeth, who is on the mat and can explain that to us.
During observation, the climbers get 2 minutes per problem to work out the sequence of moves, or beta. You'll often see climbers looking at a wall with their hands, maybe even a foot, in the air. This isn't a random movement. It's them trying to work out the sequence of moves and remember it. It's also a chance for the climbers to clarify any rules of the block. So a judge takes them around and answers any questions they might have, and also ensures they don't touch any holds they're not allowed to. There are a few rules for the climbers during observation. Once observation has started, they must only view the designated block and not leave the area. They also can't bring any coaches with them, and no furniture or ladders must be used. The climbers are allowed to touch the marked starting holds, but 1 foot must stay on the floor at all times. There might be 1, 2, 3, or 4 start holds. Perhaps most importantly though, this is called observation, so there is absolutely no climbing.
Observation really is quite a fascinating process, really quite unlike any other sport where direct competitors actually seemingly work together to solve the climbs in front of them. And Gaz, you've been in that situation a number of times yourself as an international competitor for so many years.
Yeah, well, it's a very interesting place to be, and on today's competitive circuit, it's a super friendly place to be as well. You've got American climbers, Japanese, Korean, English, all working together in these finals and in these observations, and we're going to see the same today with this observation, with all these British climbers working together to unlock the sequences.
Yeah, it really is quite unique, and it can actually cut to the wall straight behind us where the athletes are being introduced. There we are, we can see they're just being introduced to the crowd as we speak. The local MCs are bringing them out. This is the process that they go to. The crowd get to see everybody who's going to compete tonight. Fantastic bunch of athletes as well, and they've been through the semi-final round. Well, they've actually been through qualifiers first yesterday, then semi-finals today, and now they're going to have to go through the finals. So really going to be a hard weekend's work for them.
Yeah, for sure. The couple of boulders I think that are going to be challenging them that we've had a look at already today is probably boulder 2 for the men and boulder 2 for the women. The first one will probably draw them in, hopefully get some tops, and then boulder 2 is going to step it up a few grades.
Well, actually, after these guys have been introduced, I've actually just heard in my ear there's a bit of a special surprise for one of the athletes. David Barons is out there. He's standing on the far right-hand side of that screen. You can see there. This doesn't usually happen, but the crowd is going ballistic because it's his 15th year competing in a row, and the organisers have decided to give him a special set of balloons and some champagne. So well done, Dave Barons.
Hopefully it'll make him a little bit more motivated to perform really well today. I'm sure he's gunning for the title for sure, yet again.
Well, he's actually qualified from the semi-final in first place. It doesn't matter how many years you go through, how long he's been competing. He seems to have been around forever, and he's out there still winning. It's quite incredible.
Yeah, and he's such a cool cookie as well. He's such a nice guy. I've competed with him myself on the World Cup circuit, a few years ago, obviously. But yeah, he's still cranking.
So this, like we said, this is the first time the competitors are now going to have a look at these boulders. Before that, you might be wondering how such people as ourselves might get on these boulders at such a strong level. So we had a rather entertaining go at the qualifying boulders yesterday.
We're here in front of the qualifying wall. The climbers get 5 minutes to try each problem, and they get to rest for 5 minutes in between. Gaz, Mike, you ready for your qualifying round?
Well, I've got my shoes, I've got my chalk. Let's see what happens.
I was 10 years ago.
So we're going to see Gaz on female qualifier number 2. First thing you can see is the blue stripes of tape. That indicates the starting position for all of the climbers. Once he gets on, He'll work his way towards the zone hold, which is marked in a different colour tape, which is red. And being 4 times British champion on bouldering, I'm sure you have no problem. Top hold marked in blue tape as well. Control with 2 hands. For Gaz, it'll be easy. Nice one. Good work.
So throughout the competition, we'd actually take turns on attempts on the boulders. So now it's Mike's turn, and I get a chance to have a few minutes rest. So, right, you're up, Mike. So he's started the boulder, but the judge has already run in and pulled him down. He's got to stop climbing that boulder because he's put his foot out of bounds. The out of bounds is signified by the black tape running down the right-hand arete. What he needs to do is, when he starts this time, he's 2 hands on the starting hold with 2 blue tapes. Right foot on the right foot hold, left foot on the left foot hold, like he's just done. So he's made that first move. The judge has allowed him to carry on climbing now. So hopefully, third go, third time lucky. This, remember, is actually a female boulder, so that's going to be hard for some of the slightly shorter girls. Michael's quite a tall competitor for the females. Probably wait a little bit longer to look around and get the nod off the judge just to say yes, because personally I would have said no.
Yeah, to be honest, that's probably the hardest climb I've ever done.
For a few years.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice one, good effort.
Yeah, happy with that?
Go on, let's push. Easy. Go on, keep going. You need to get that finishing hold. Go on.
Big wide pinches. Up to another pinch, really cool toe hook move there. That was nice, guys, come on. Heel hook up to the zone hold, no problem so far. Gaz is on fire today. What have you had for breakfast, Gaz? Come on. Oh, what a punter.
That's a really bad finishing hold.
Oh, I thought you had that.
Me too.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. We certainly did. Gaz, I don't think we did too bad, considering.
I think for a pair of older veterans, I think we did okay. It's a shame they don't have a veteran category here.
Well, as you can see there on the screen, we are back with the observational period here at the British Championships, live from Sheffield City Centre. The guys there just on screen going through their session of boulders, 2 minutes observation per boulder. The women are doing the same on the opposite side of the wall.
So the men are currently viewing that block 2 that I mentioned earlier. It was described by the route setters as new school meets old school.
Yeah, I think really the semi-final round that we saw earlier was incredibly tough, and if you guys saw that earlier, you would see there wasn't many tops actually to get through to the final here. It was really touch and go stuff earlier, so I think the route setters, who are the guys who created the climbs tonight, have got a really tough job in their hands to get this final just right, because really at home we want to see a great show.
As always, it's a super challenge for the route setters. We've got a very, very experienced team of setters out there. Headed up by international route setter Jamie Cassidy, super experienced. He's set the world over and sets at some of the biggest events. So, you know, we've definitely got the setters out there to do it.
Well, as you heard earlier, the guys there on the wall can only touch the starting positions. They are huddled around. They're all British, which helps. They can all speak the same language. Some at the World Cups you see abroad, they do kind of team together with those who speak similar languages. But these guys will probably be working together. There are some special friendships out there. People have been on the scene forever. They will probably be working together to solve these boulders.
The interesting thing, though, to see is the way that the guys are reading, and the guys and the girls are reading the boulders. They're using their hands. They're getting involved, and they're trying to recreate the movement. So even if they can't actually speak to each other, they can still work through sign language, basically, which is a really interesting aspect of the sport. So you can be alongside a Japanese climber who doesn't speak English, and you can still communicate in climbing. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's super cool. But if you want to get in touch, you have any questions about this, the boulder observation, competition in general, all the Boulder World Cups further afield, you can get in touch. Use the hashtag BBC's 2018 on social media, and we would really love to hear from you. But before that, let's have a look at some of those athletes who made their way through from the semi-final round. Here we are, the first competitor out qualified in 6th place. That was Natalie Berry. Gaz, great to see Natalie back.
Yeah, Natalie's from an old school climber. She was competing 10 years ago. It's brilliant to be back in here.
Etty Warren qualified in 5th place from the semi-final. Incredible top for her on boulder number 4, just 16 years old.
Yeah, followed up by Hannah Smith, also 16 years old. It's great to see these young kids getting through to these finals in the British Championships.
One of her first British Championships and already through to the finals. What talent.
Next up, we've got Rosalind Fruitney. It's really good again to see her make it through because she's been carrying an injury for the last month or so, a finger problem, and she's definitely back, and she's definitely able to pull down on it.
And someone who can really pull down on these holes is Jennifer Wood. She's doing really well, second place through from the semi-final round. I think she's got the final, the podium in her crosshairs tonight.
The local girl, yeah, and obviously top of the tree, Hannah Slaney, qualified in first place. She's definitely the one to beat. She's looking strong and looking hungry. In
the men's category, Alex Waterhouse has flown over from America, lives in New Hampshire, USA, but is British, competing here at the British Championships. Great result for him, qualified in 6th.
Matt Cousins qualifying in 5th place. He's already won the BBCs before, 2016. Definitely a dark horse, and is gunning for the title again.
Max Ayrton was off the pace for a few years after the juniors, and the comeback. He's now competing in the seniors, managed to get himself back in the British team. Super strong, Max Ayrton.
Aidan Roberts qualified in 3rd place from the Lakes. He loves the crimp, and the crimp is the smallest holds possible. When he gets on the small holds, he's a demon.
2nd place from the semi-final round, Nathan Phillips. For me, my pick for the finals tonight, looking in incredible form. Had great semi-final results abroad as well in the International World Cups.
And Dave Barons, there he was, celebrating his 15th attempt at the British Championships this weekend. Old school, but he's in 1st place at the moment.
Well, as always, you can see there, it's great to see so many young climbers making their way through to not only semis but finals, just competing here in general in Sheffield. And if you do want to give it a go, I do suggest go down to your local climbing wall. Climbing is absolutely brilliant, and I really suggest you could just go and give it a go. Maybe it could be you next year on the mats here. But Gaz, looking back at the competition there, you can see the athletes still observing behind us. Who's your pick for tonight?
Well, I think it's the people at the top are still going to be looking strong in the final. They've climbed fast and they've climbed well. Hannah Slaney and Dave Barons, I think they're gunning for the title.
Yeah, I think it's really fascinating because we don't have the current British champions here today. We've got new people. Someone's going to be taking that gold medal away with them. I think that's actually made some of the climbers pretty nervous going into this final.
Yeah, it's you know, if you're in the final, you can win it. Just don't let go.
Says the man who's won so many trophies he's had to order himself a new trophy cabinet. Just don't let go. Well, I'm sure they will be well aware of that, but it'll be fascinating throughout the competition. And we've actually seen the boulders. We create boulders ourselves as part of our day-to-day job, and I think the route setters have done a really good job.
Yeah, I think there's a really nice balance out there. Boulder 1 looks pretty steady. Boulder 2 is very challenging for the male and the female. And then after that, we'll just wait and see. The aim of the route setter is to have the winner at the top of the last boulder. That's the dream. Well,
we'll see if the dream comes true. But before that, we have some tech talk from our roaming reporter, Elsbeth, once again. She's going to give us a bit of an insight into climbing shoes whilst we make our way to our commentary position.
Arguably, the most important piece of kit for a climber is their shoes. You might be thinking, can't I just climb in trainers? Does it really matter that much? But the athletes are about to climb on tiny edges, non-existent holes, and smear up vertical walls. It's not a walk in the park. So let's take a look at the differences between trainers and climbing shoes. Firstly, look how tiny the climbing shoes are. These are both the same size. That's because when we're running, we want our feet to splay, and it's actually healthy for them to do that, and it helps with stability. But when we're climbing, we don't want our foot to move inside the shoe at all, because any movement could cause the foot to pop off the hold. Hello gravity, goodbye gold. So let's take a look at the materials. The climbing shoe is a non-treaded base, and it's made of a soft, sticky rubber. That gives a really good surface for the climber to push through, and it creates this lovely edge. The trainer has got a treaded base, and unlike the climbing shoe, it bends through the toe. Turn them over, and the differences are even more noticeable. I'm not talking about the colour. The trainer is made of a lightweight, breathable membrane. That helps keep our feet cool whilst getting in the miles. But the climbing shoe has got this really tough rubber layer. More and more in competitions, we're seeing this layer. That's because it helps keep the climber's toes in place when they're pulling on a hold. You wouldn't expect a Formula 1 team to use road tyres, so why expect a climber to use trainers?
So there we are, back in Devonshire Green, live for the British Bouldering Championships. Gaz, city centre here in Sheffield, absolutely great so far this weekend.
Yeah, we've been in this venue before, and what a fantastic place it is. It's a natural auditorium with seating all around the outside, grass, the sun is shining, you can see the music truck there. what a great place to be based.
Yeah, it's fantastic for climbing as well. It's great to put on this good show. Some people not necessarily kind of bouldering fans necessarily. They just come here because of the bars, the atmosphere, everything that's going on around here. It's absolutely brilliant, and what a scene and what a stage we're set for the British Bouldering Championships Grand Final. The athletes are just waiting in the wings now. They've had their boulder observation and we are just waiting to again bring them out onto the stage, and they start their finals boulders. And what a very tense scene we've got here so far.
And obviously what a future we've got as well coming in 2 years time. 2020 climbing is going to be in the Olympics. So this is a constant build-up now for a lot of the younger athletes with their dreams in front of them.
Yeah, we're just building up now. We can hear the beeps in the background, which means we will be introduced to those 12 athletes very, very shortly. Gaz, one notable missing name from the list is Shauna Coxey, a double world champion, not here today due to injury, which is a real shame. But there's lots of people waiting in Shauna's wings, I would say.
Yeah, Shauna's competed a couple of times this season already, but has been coming off the back of an injury and still doesn't feel happy enough and fit enough to compete at this level, so she's taking a break.
And here we go then. The local MC has introduced the first two climbers. Travelling over from New Hampshire, USA, we have Alex Waterhouse, and in the women's category, Natalie Berry.
Natalie's a very interesting competitor to come back into this British Bouldering Championships. She competed quite a few years ago and has had a break for probably around 10 years actually. She's been a European youth champion in the past as well, so she's no punter.
So the climbers will climb in a group on each of the first boulders. So we will see all 6 climbers try boulders number 1, and then as a team they will move on to boulders 3 and 4. All of the other athletes are in an isolation zone behind the wall, so they cannot hear or see. Well, maybe they could hear a bit of crowd, but they can't really see what is going on. And that means that when they come out, it's just them on the wall, and they've got to tackle this boulder. They would have never have tried it before. It's a completely new challenge, and it's an incredibly pressured situation. And Natalie Berry, so far, is doing really well. She's moving out left on these ginormous orange holds, and that is the zone hold out on the left. She's moved through the start into the zone, and she wants to try and get to the top. Obviously the aim of the game is as many tops of as many boulders as possible.
Natalie's making very good progress. Obviously she's competed a lot in the past and is super experienced. You can see she's just using that knee bar where she's jammed her right leg underneath that volume, gave her a chance to wipe the sweat off her hand a little bit. I'm quite surprised she's not climbing with a chalk bag again today. She did earlier on this morning.
You can see the clock in the top right hand side of your screen there. These climbers just have 4 minutes only to climb each of the boulders. She's run down to 2 minutes 25 at the moment. Natalie is known for her really controlled style, and the top of this boulder is particularly horrendous, where she basically has to get into a balanced position on an overhanging terrain to be able to take her hands off and match the finish hold. It can be a really hard finish.
Yeah, we could see a little bit as she's tried to slap up to that finishing hold. There's not really much there. Over on the men's boulder though, Alex Waterhouse making super progression. He's one move from the finishing hole, but what a massive move that looks. Somehow he's got to get his feet up now.
Huge move, but he is looking good now. As a good early start there from Alex Waterhouse. That will give him a lot of confidence actually. Blows out his cheeks. Just how hard he was trying there. See, he's had 5 attempts already. Natalie Berry's just had her first attempt. They both have secured the zone hold. That's in the green dash underneath. And Alex Waterhouse looks like he's diving in for the liquid chalk to try and keep that sweat at bay once more time.
Yeah, so the addition of liquid chalk to the climber's arsenal has been a real advantage. It's alcohol mixed with chalk, and obviously the alcohol evaporates and leaves a nice dry layer of chalk on the hands.
Natalie Berry then pulling on for her second attempt, working away through this bottom section. She really doesn't show how difficult in her body language, how difficult this boulder really is. Just shuffling leftwards now, and trust me, that is so hard to hold these positions. The feet are actually terrible there. Natalie Berry is looking in great physical shape coming into this final, and possibly she surprised herself by getting this far already.
Yeah, she just needs to, she's using that knee bar again. She's got time on the clock. This is going to be her last go by looks for it's 45 seconds and counting. She needs to get both feet up into both of these big orange bowls. It's a shame.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky now with just 35 seconds left. It's going to be a struggle if she's going to have enough time to get this boulder completed. as Alex Waterhouse pulls on for another go. It's his 7th go already. He got really high last time, and he is running short of time. So if Alex Waterhouse wants to make an impression on this finals, he needs to do it right now with just 20 seconds, less than 20 seconds remaining. Pushing towards the top now. This is good. He switched the hands around. It looks like it could be in for an early top here from Alex Waterhouse. Watch that celebration. Great work. Wears his heart on his sleeve. He hasn't got any sleeves, but he's just so emotional. It's brilliant.
5 seconds left on the clock for him there. He's topped that boulder in 7 attempts. The good thing about this format for the final is that he's now got quite a lot of time to rest. Even though he's had a lot of goes, he's got a good few minutes to take it easy and recover and let his heart rate come down and his hands cool off.
Well, and someone's heart rate is going to have to cool down is Matt Cousins, because he would have seen or heard Alex Waterhouse's top there. He's going to heard that someone's done something already. He's got to build himself up now and get ready for his attempt. And as the ex-British champion from 2016, the pressure's really on here for Matt Cousins.
Yeah, well, it was a really interesting semi-final for him, because he was very close to not making the cut. Very, very close, and he made it by just putting his hand on a bonus, and he jumped from 10th place to 4th. Now here he goes, he's off.
Nice twist at the start. We can see for the first time the starting moves here. Rolls over to the right hand crimp and gets involved in these yellow volumes before heading up to this opposing black holds. It was described to us as a set of elevator doors, is effectively how you need to open these moves. There it is. He just needs to twist that right hand round. But Matt Cousins is a potential for a podium here, at least today, I would say.
He's very experienced on these 3 holds as well. He'll have climbed on these quite a lot at some of the events down south. He's looking good. He just needs to flip this hand now, and big move to that finishing hold, but he's not made it.
Yeah, just needs to get his feet higher, as we can now concentrate on Etty Warren, just 16 years old. Incredible for her to get through to the final. Looks so composed earlier as well. Just absolutely awesome athlete, and just has 16. How do you get that composed in front of this crowd at 16 years old?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I started watching my first international competition when I was 16, and that was in Leeds in 1989 when Jerry Moffat lifted a World Cup title, and that was the moment when I was like, I want to do competitions.
Well, and that's the great thing. These guys have been watching you plus other athletes over the years, Shauna Coxey, Leah Crane, other inspiring athletes, and at 16 years they're ready to compete on the big stage. It's great. So Etty Warren then into the corner. She's already had one good go, and Matt Cousins just running down the clock. He knows he's only got 2 minutes left. He has that timer in his sights, but he just needs to compose himself, get his air back, basically, fill up his lungs with fresh oxygen, try and rest the forearms, shake off the hands, and try and cool down the hands. You saw how hot it was on the graphic we just brought up there. So hot here in Sheffield, and Etty Warren still has a lot to do here, even though she's really close to the top of women's number 1.
Yeah, it can be a very tactical game, can this? You've got to bide your time, especially when someone like Matt has already got the bonus on his first attempt. He's back into those doors. I think he's got a slightly better sequence this time. He's got that left hand on the top volume. Now he needs to make the big move. Match the hold. Top for Matt Cousins, 2 attempts. Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. And you heard the scream there from Matt Cousins. Absolutely awesome. He really wants this. He's so focused going into the finals.
That was, we did see some real professionalism in how to manage the competition there. He took the first go, got the bonus, got very high, fell off going for the finishing hold, rested, recovered, chalked up, sent the boulder. Back on with Etty. Palming out, making a move across onto these 2 massive orange volumes. You can see that they're not in cut at all, those. They're very slopey, very pinchy.
Etty Warren then up into these 2 slopey, pinchy volumes, as it was described there. It's a really heinous move here, and it's actually a very slow move with 20 seconds remaining. She's been very close to running out of time. Couldn't make it happen anyway, unfortunately. A slow start here to the women's competition, and quite a fast start in the men's competition with 2 tops already out of 6 climbers on men's number 1.
It's a good attempt there. She did get the zone, so she jumps ahead of Natalie.
Out next then in the men's competition, Max Ayrton, as we said in the pre-show there, he came kind of out of the competition scene for a while, just did his thing, did a bit of training for a few years, and got reselected for the British senior team. He has a lot of fun when he's out there competing.
Yeah, we know Max very well from route setting down south. He's always got a smile on his face and he's a wonderful climber to watch.
In the women's competition, another 16-year-old Hannah Smith from Glasgow. Really likes volumes climbing, which really likes these big holes. So let's see how she gets on this.
Yeah, hopefully this will suit her. Interesting fact about Hannah as well, she has a +5 ape index. So that means that her reach is 5 inches longer than her height. That helps a lot when reaching up between these holds.
Yeah,
Let's
sometimes
see how she goes.
Sometimes reach helps. It's not the be-all and end-all. As a taller climber myself, I'd like to say it doesn't help me at all. I think I get bunched up quite a lot, so it's not all about height, but sometimes a plus ape index can really help, and this is looking really good.
Very solid on the first attempt.
Hannah
One
Smith
hand, 2 hands.
pushing it up. What a dream start from Hannah Smith. The smile on her face told the story there. A brilliant start, and Max Ayrton seemingly levitating between these boulders. Looks like he's going to find an early top, and what a perfect way to start the competition for Max Ayrton.
Max Ayrton, flash. That means he's just climbed the boulder on his first attempt, and Hannah Smith, 16-year-old from Glasgow, also a flash as well. What a fantastic start for those 2 climbers.
It's always good to get the first boulder under your belt, I think, to come out super nervous. You've been behind the wall, you can see there the big crowd. To come out, do a boulder, it's got to do your confidence wonders heading into the next boulders, I think.
Yeah, totally. A very quick send of those boulders and a nice long rest afterwards. So the right-hand side of the wall, we've got Rosalind Fruitney. We had a little interview with Rosalind there earlier on, and it'll be interesting to see how well she does here, because she had a lot of problems with the skin, but she's in the final, so I'm sure she's just going to give it her all. You can see there's a little bit of tape on that left hand over the fingertip.
One of the things about climbing all day yesterday, you saw us struggling on the qualifying boulders there. They've been through 5 boulders this morning, and now they're starting a new challenge, 4 boulders, and resistance to skin wearing out is a crucial element to being a good finals climber.
Obviously, and it's summer as well, so it is hot, so it's a bigger challenge. Come on, Rosalind.
Rosalind from Bristol's got quite a lot of local support. That's good to see. She has competed internationally this year on behalf of Team GB, looking strong and trying hard there. She looks strong in the shoulders going through that section, but ultimately just wobbled off. That's a quick top from a man who certainly does have strong shoulders. It's Aidan Roberts, the young man competing all throughout the summer season here on behalf of Team GB, looking really strong today. For me, Gaz, Aidan could be the one to win.
Yeah, when the boulders get super hard, then Aidan usually steps it up a gear. Like I said earlier on, he's one of those people that really likes a small hold. He really likes to crimp hard. Not so great on the open-handed stuff, but we'll see what the route setters have got in store for him. But he's certainly put that #1 boulder to bed very quickly.
So a good close-up there for anybody who's new to boulder competitions. The 4 stripes of tape at the start there, the blue ones, that is where the climber has to start. That's the designated start position. You'll see a different colour stripe of tape a bit further up. That's the zone hold. That's there to split temps if there is a tie on the number of tops later on. And the top is the last hold on the route, and they have to hold that in control as Rosalind Fruitney is pushing through this section. She does seem to be struggling on this bit through the shoulders a little bit. She looked strong earlier, but now just struggling a touch.
Yeah, back on the mat there, you can see that single stripe that Mike was talking about, the left-hand orange volume. That is the zone. That's the first aim of the climber, and then the second aim is the finishing hold. Not much of a finishing hold on this lady's boulder. It's an absolutely tiny, upside-down, minuscule hold. Little blob of resin, I would describe it really, rather than a hold. You're not pulling on it, are you? You're pushing on it when you get there.
It's not a glory jug, let's put it that way. You're not grabbing that and pumping your fist to the crowd. You've got to just stay in control on the feet, maximum body tension through the back, and just pause and get that judge's approval.
So Rosalind back on. Crowd getting behind her. She's got just under 1 minute. She can definitely do this boulder in this time. She's got the strength, that's for sure. Looking better now, solid onto the zone. Now she just needs to get on board now, both feet, right foot first. Oh,
You can almost feel her melting off of those holes. It's so hot here. We saw it's just over 29 degrees on the wall. Really, really warm, but it is an equal challenge for everybody. I don't think that temperature is really going to change over the next hour or so in the duration of this finals. And the local commentator is asking for the crowd to get behind Rosalind here with just under 20 seconds remaining. She's got a lot of work to do in that period of time. Realistically, I don't think it's going to be enough for Ros.
yeah, she's going to have to move super fast now. Clock's counting down, 7-6. Come on, Rosalind. I think that's where experience can really come in, because maybe that was a go that she shouldn't have, and obviously she's got this problem with poor skin from wearing the skin out from the previous rounds. Maybe she should have sat that go out.
Just a quick question on Twitter. Great to hear from you guys using the hashtag BBC's 2018 from Jessica. Why is it 5 minutes in the semis and 4 minutes in the finals? That is purely due to making more of a show in the in the finals. Just a shorter time period means things rattle through a bit quicker, a bit more pressure on the athletes, a bit trickier to set for, because 4 minutes really isn't very much time, and that one extra minute in semis means that they can ramp up the difficulty of the boulders, and finals just tone it down a little bit and really look for a show, look to put on a great bit of atmosphere really for the big crowd that's here.
And yeah, what a fantastic crowd. It's a great turnout just over my right shoulder. We've got a lot of people in the house watching this, and hopefully a lot of you guys out there watching it online on the BBC.
Jennifer Wood then, one of my favourites for the competition really. I think she's been training really well. She's been preparing herself psychologically for this competition by getting a lot of experience. She's been competing in the likes of Russia, Switzerland earlier this year for the British team, and now she comes out with the British Championship. She's really got that top step in her mind really, I think.
And unfortunately there's a lot of people behind her here today. She's a hometown is Sheffield. She's local, so she's got a lot of fans in the crowd.
She's done that move really easily as well, in quite contrast there to Rosalind Fruitney. She just sort of did a muscle up on those two orange volumes. She's wobbling a little bit. Yeah, you could just see the left-hand side of her body just started to wobble a little bit as she couldn't put the power through the left foot. And there's not really a hold, as Gaz said up there, to grab hold of to finish. She has to go in a lot of control. And I think, for me, that was just nerves at the top there.
I think when we saw Hannah Smith climb that boulder, when she put that left foot up, she had a knee on the inside of the body. You saw the knee for Rosalind, for Jen, was on the outside of her body, so it actually pushed her hips out of the wall a little bit. Centre of gravity was away from the wall and just fell out of the scoops backwards. I think if she gets that drop knee, brings the left knee on the inside of her body, she'll hold that position no problem. 2 minutes on the clock for Jen.
You can see Jen just composing herself there before she pulls on. Like I said, she's been working on her head game for climbing quite a lot, dealing with these pressure situations. She's a couple of breaths, focus, and then do what she needs to do.
Nice steady progress across there again. This is our first view of Nathan Phillips.
Yeah, Nathan Phillips already burnt 2 attempts on this boulder. We've seen flashes from Aidan Roberts and from Max Ayrton in the background there. You can see Jennifer Wood doing really well, pushing towards the finish on no issues this time. The blue tape is on the volume there rather than the hold. No issues whatsoever, gets it matched and can pick up her stuff, walk back and take a good rest. Interesting here though, Nathan Phillips, one of the favourites, really struggling here with 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Is he having a meltdown here, Gaz?
Well, it's going to be always hard to find the boulders that suit you, and if it doesn't suit you, you don't do it. But Nathan's very experienced, very strong. He's been competing for a long period of time, so it could be boulder 2, 3 and 4 that are his boulders.
Yeah, we do have a long way to go in this competition. You can't count anybody out yet. I think it is quite surprising to see Nathan struggling here a little bit though.
Steady away through that first technical start. On board with the zone again. Now into the elevator doors. Looking a little bit better this time.
Let's have a really good look at this now. Why is he struggling? Does he have his hands around the right way? Does he not? He's just going to jump to the top of that. That's better from Nathan. Does look round at the clock, has a quick look to see if he's still got time. He should get it in the bag now. Pulls the right foot up, pulls the right hand to the finish hold. In the end, no issues for Nathan Phillips. Let's hope these couple of attempts that it's taken him to get there don't come back to haunt him later on in the competition.
He'll go round the back. I think he'll still be pretty satisfied with that. It was quite under pressure there to get that top with time running out, and he did it, so he should be happy. He should relax quite well again now.
So after collecting his balloons, the local organisers that gave Dave Barron's, he's won 15 years competing in a row at the British Championships. He now comes out as the favourite potentially, comes out from semi-finals in first position and has got a lot to do here. Pressure is really on.
I think to start with, this boulder is right up Dave's street. Really powerful compression style boulder, opening the doors. Over on the women, we've got Hannah Slaney starting her campaign for the final, for the title, qualified in first place.
Yeah, Hannah had the opportunity to travel to Villars in Switzerland this weekend to compete in the International Lead World Cup, but opted for the bouldering instead. Maybe she's got that British title in her crosshairs.
Well, she's making nice progress already, quite easily into that right-hand scoop. Opted for the toe hook.
Is it going to be enough though? She does need to move the foot. She does move the foot just to
Very
put a bit of pressure through it. Nicely done.
3 minutes on the clock and she's round the back of the wall. Dave making very good progress in his first boulder now.
It's all eyes on Dave Barron's now though. He's the final competitor out on men's number one. Does just drop off the wall there. Slight glitch, sorry about that. Just as we push on, Dave Barron's has just 2 minutes 40 to get this done. And Gaz, to me, it looks like the pressure is hitting these top athletes now. They've come out last. They've seen that competitors are coming back quite quickly into the isolation zone, and the pressure mounts.
I think it can go either way mentally around the back of the wall. When somebody comes behind the boulder, you can be like, oh no, they've done it fast, and I've got to do it fast as well, and that can pile the pressure on. Or it can be, they've done it fast, I'm going to do it fast. So it's very interesting to see these last two male competitors, how they're crumbling a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, Nathan did it in the end in 3 goes, which sounds dramatic, but it's only 1 attempt behind Matt Cousins, who's currently sitting in 3rd, and we have got a further 3 boulders still to go. But Dave Barron's has got a little bit of work to do here.
Nice heel maneuver there, using that left foot to hook underneath that yellow volume into the elevator doors. Needs to go for the top. Interesting hand on there. That is a very slopey hold, very hard to use.
It's going to be really difficult for him now to flip that left hand. Can he flip it round? He's in a bit of trouble here to gain the height, but uses his experience, and what power he displayed there in the left arm. He had the hold round the wrong way. It didn't matter though, and he just pounced to the top. That was a really, really impressive go.
So that's the end of block 1. That bumps Dave up into 3rd place, so I think he'll be quite satisfied with that. Didn't go quite to plan, but we've got Roberts, Ayrton, Barron's, Cousins in 4th, Phillips in 5th, and Waterhouse bringing up the rear in 6th place.
Yeah, in the women's category you can see it's actually same as the men's. 2 flashes for the women's category. Hannah Slaney in there with a flash, and Hannah Smith. The Hannahs are leading the way. And 2 flashes on the men's, 2 flashes on the women's. Kind of an ideal start, I would say, to this British Bouldering Championships final, coming to you live from Sheffield City Centre.
Well, that was certainly a challenging first boulder. A lot of tops there, but also a few thrills and spills, so that's good. Nice view out towards the crowd. It's definitely packed out there today. A lot of people watching here in City Centre Sheffield. Great to see.
Yeah, great to see people. Obviously not too many hangovers from last night. It was absolutely kicking off here in Sheffield City Centre last night after the football. And everyone's recovered. They're back on the beers by the looks of it. And they want to watch some climbing. And don't blame them, because climbing is clearly better than football.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that one. And I think Alex Waterhouse is as well. Alex is always one for the bright and colourful shorts. He's there. And Natalie Berry's out as well.
So this is our first opportunity to have a look at boulder number 2's And boulder number 2, I can't believe we're there already. A quick start to the competition, and the route setters describe this boulder as hideously difficult. So we expect things to ramp up a little bit now. Now maybe we'll start to see who's going to be emerging as a potential winner or a podium, at least here in the competition on women's number 2.
Natalie was very smooth through that first hard move on the zone, both hands, very solid at the moment. Jamie Cassidy was describing that first move as hard and then this move as hard, but Natalie has absolutely crushed that boulder. Tops out, 2 hands. She'll be smiling after that one, Michael.
Well, I have to say, that is a bit of a surprise. We were told that that was one of the harder boulder problems of the tour. Natalie Berry is coming out on great form here. She will hold position number 1 for quite a while now, and it's going to be really interesting to see if that boulder is actually harder than Natalie made it look. But we can turn our attention now to Alex Waterhouse on the left-hand side, and so far can't figure out the bottom section of a really tricky men's number 2.
So yeah, we had a very close look at this earlier on. Quick replay there of Natalie just matching that finishing hold, 2 hands. She'll be happy with that. Back to Alex. Very bad hand holds, very bad foot holds as well.
Let's have a little look at the route information here. Just a 13-degree overhanging wall here. Really tricky, old school style. It's old school meets new school, whatever that means. 30 degrees on the wall though, particularly hot and a really difficult boulder.
Well, I think he's spotted the method there, is that pounce out into the palm with the right hand and then flick the left hand around.
Yeah, what we're really going to be seeing on this boulder hopefully is a really tenuous technical section followed by a couple of very dramatic dynamic moves, and we really do hope we see somebody up there. To be honest, I think we will. And Alex Waterhouse is into this next section of volumes. You can see there's just some thumb catches that he's got to work with there. Hideously difficult and really bad footholds.
Already onto his through his 5th go, 6th go, I think that'll be.
You can see him asking for a brush there. We've actually got one of the competitors from the semi-final dropping in for some volunteer work.
That's great to see Nathan getting involved. Alex is back on again into these very small thumber cuts. You can see the size of these holds. That's just disappeared under his hand.
Good support here. He's just trying to fire into the groove there, into a double sort of palm down maneuver. Really good timing move there.
Back on again. Colourful shorts as ever, colourful short bag. Alex always wears his heart on his sleeve when he's climbing. It's quite emotional sometimes, but
yeah, we saw that from his top on men's number 1. Brings out the emotion straight away, but the only emotion here is frustration, I think, because he's really struggling to get through the bottom section, and realistically he's very much running out of time. Will he have another go? He sort of shakes his head. He might just have another go just for the hell of it, because he is a competitor at heart, but no idea really what to do with that one, unfortunately. It's going to come down to the next competitor, Matt Cousins, and the 4 other guys after him to see if they can figure that sequence out.
Yeah, a little head shake there is total confusion, I think, for that one. Let's see what Matt Cousins can do.
Yeah, let's see what Etty Warren can do as well. It was a great top from Natalie Berry on the women's number 2. Let's see if Etty can match that. Just 16 years old, like we said, but she is from Sheffield, so she will be getting plenty of that local support.
Etty's just taken control of the brush there, taking a little bit of time to make sure that these friction on these orange volumes is going to be the maximum friction she can get. Already super experienced at such a young age, these climbers. It's amazing. 16 years old, just taking control.
Let's see if she can take control of the boulder, and let's see if Matt Cousins can take control. He's opted for a slightly different foot position for his right foot there. Not quite sure what he's standing on there. Maybe the bolt hole. There's a little bolt holding the hold on, and he's just stood his right toe onto that. It's a great work for Matt to figure out that foot sequence through the bottom there. Now he's got to start and struggling with these volumes.
Lining himself up.
Feels like he's got the right method there. That's kind of the way the route setters were describing it, but he just lost his feet a little bit, lost a little bit of height when he pushes into those next 2 volumes.
Yeah, it's quite a a tricky move there. He was really hesitant on it, quite undecided, but I think hopefully this second go he'll be a little bit more positive. He's not got that much time to hang around on those small holds to pounce into that corner. A little bit of commitment needed, Matt. Come on.
Yeah, if Matt Cousins is going to match his amazing achievements of 2016, where he won the title on the final go of the final boulder, we'd have thought he would like to find a top here quite early on, put the pressure on the fellow competitors. Etty just not finding that boulder quite as easily as Natalie Berry did, and Natalie Berry is putting herself really out there as a potential podium here already early on with an easy top of women's number 2.
Yeah, it was very interesting watching Natalie on that boulder. She made it look very, very easy. I think being able to do that move that Etty just fell off from the bottom foothold just was probably a little bit for her with a 5'8" height. You know, she just has a little bit more reach maybe. Maybe the smaller athletes are going to have to stand up onto one of those holds on the right-hand side.
Well,
near Etty's hand.
Interestingly, Etty's got a completely different sequence through that bottom section. We saw Natalie Berry not using those right-hand hold at all, really. Etty's gone down there and used it as a handhold and now clamps it with her feet. But this is looking much better now from Etty Warren. She moves up to the zone hold, secures that. She'll be given that by the judges, moves up a position just by grabbing that. Now she's got to get a match and really work her way through these slopes. This is looking much better as the crowd behind her just rises here for Etty Warren. She's got a lot to do to finish off, but can she do it? You can see her hand creeping on the finish hold, and it just fell short. You could really see her to start to struggle on those top slopes, and just under 1 minute left. Will it be enough? As Matt Cousins, we can see in the corner there, has found a position through this section of volumes, and Matt Cousins now works his way onto the zone on men's number 2.
Now he's motoring. He knows that he's got a little time left on the clock. A little bit of elevator doors again here, shoulder, and then a dynamic movement here. Oh, foot slip. That's a real shame. He was going well there. Back on with Etty again. 27 seconds on the clock. She's down on the floor. I think she's probably going to call it a day. Unlike Matt, he's back on the boulder. And he's off again. It's the end of those two climbers.
That was a really good effort. Hopefully we'll have another look. It was just the foot that went, it just pinged off the volume there. That move, he's known for that sort of style, very dynamic. I thought he would be in for a good shout there. It's just his foot blew, and it's the next competitors. We're rolling on here. It's Max Ayrton and Hannah Smith. Hannah had a fantastic start on women's number 1. She's just come out of nowhere, this young lady.
And I think I've got to have some money on Max doing quite well on this boulder. He's notorious for his slab climbing skills. And with these poor holds, poor feet, he can usually look very, very comfortable where other climbers are struggling.
Yeah, he did really well recently at the Climbing Works International Festival event, where it was a matter of climbing a slab boulder, like you say, very technical, lots of bad footholds, and he climbed that where other big international climbers and superstars struggled, and that was enough to get him into a very good position there, nearly made it through to the finals. Let's see, there's a whole different ball game really. As we know, no two boulders are ever the same wherever you compete around the world.
Great shot there, panning round Max and just looking at the crowd out there behind him. Lots and lots of support for the climbers here in Sheffield. Max is on his way again. One thumb. Weird undercut now, and this dynamic move out into the corner. Not possible at the moment for Max. Plenty of time on the clock though, 2:40. Another competitor from the previous round in there to brush the holds on that boulder for the men. Tommy Matthews helping out. Good to see. Hannah Smith still struggling with that first movement off that slopey circular orange volume there. Don't think she's really spotted the possibility of putting the right heel up yet.
Max Ayrton doing much better on this attempt with 2 minutes left. Good support from the Bristolians in the crowd. Looking good. He's pushed that round. He's gone really statically through there. So that was good from Max. We saw Matt Cousins having to push dynamically into that section, and look at the flexibility there in the left hip. That was brilliant. Now he's got to push up into the zone hold, and just scoring a zone on this boulder will put him in a good position. It's 1 minute 40 left on the clock then for Max, currently sitting in third position. With that zone hold, he moves up into first. Now he's got to pounce out through these volumes, and this is where we saw Matt Cousins' foot slip.
Now from where he's standing, he can actually see all the way across the climber wall, and at the other end is the timer, so he knows he's got quite a lot of time on the clock. He knows he can chalk up, relax a little bit, and now he's getting ready to go.
This is the move then that Matt Cousins fell off it just a few minutes before. Really dynamic. He's got to choose his options here because he's running out of time. That is the move. And Gaz, what such a low percentage move that. He's just got to jump for it. It's really difficult. He's got to hit the right hand, flip the left hand, all in the same movement. And the tricky thing about those sorts of moves is where to look.
Yeah, you've got two holds that are quite a long way apart, and it's just not possible to look at both holds at the same time.
Yeah, the route setters really employ these moves to create separation through the field, and that has done the job, exactly that. Is it too difficult though? We've got a few climbers still to come, another 3 athletes still to follow Max, and Hannah Smith is still struggling out there on women's number 2 with 30 seconds still remaining.
He's got the measure of the start of that boulder now, Max.
Yeah, he's got to move really fast here though. He probably knows it as well. He's a very intelligent climber. 20 seconds left. He doesn't want to take on any chalk or anything here. He just needs to get going. Crowd really realizes that as well. Maybe he can move his foot down to that right hand foothold. He's in the same position he was. So close to sticking it that time. That was a brilliant effort.
I thought he had it then. I thought he held that. But yeah, Max puts in a really good show on that boulder.
So just in case you're wondering, you're new to climbing, haven't quite figured out the scoring system. It is a 4-tiered scoring system, and ultimately the person or the climber who gets the most boulders topped is the winner. And if it's a tie after that, it comes down to the number of zone holds they get. And if there's still tied, there's 2 more ways to split them. That's the number of attempts to the top holds and the number of attempts to the zone. So ultimately, it's about getting as many tops as possible, but in such a tight run competition as this, it will ultimately come down to the number of zone holds and the number of attempts at end. As we have another look back at Max, and he was really close to sticking that left hand.
Yeah, that left hand was just held for a moment and then popped off. Rosalind's back out now on boulder number 2. She's got a lot more tape on her fingers again. She's definitely going to be struggling in this round, climbing on tape and not on skin. But she's pushing on, she's trying her best.
Well, that's it at this stage. You've got nothing to lose realistically.
Apart from some skin.
Apart from more skin. Well, she'll be having a week off, I reckon, getting the hydration cream in there. But realistically, what I'm saying is that she just has to go for it now.
Yeah, for sure. And we can see some information on the route there. Women's 2, angle 19 degrees overhanging. Route setter, Ben West. Style, slopers, as you can see. That's a very bad hold.
Yeah, I think slopey would be a fair description. No one's going to argue with that. Oh, as I said that, she locks down a crimp on the edge of that sloper with her left hand and moves well up into the right hand side. This is good work here from Ros. Hits the zone hold, and that's going to be important when it comes to the scoring. You can see her move up into 5th position there. Looks like she's pushing up to this top sloper now. She's going to crimp the sloper. That's a sign of bad skin indeed, and she's pushing towards the top now. Rosalind Fruitney finds a fantastic top on women's number 2 and moves herself up into 2nd position.
That's a brilliant top out there from Rosalind. She'll be super happy with that. Finding the crimp right on the end of that volume. Big smile from her. Well done, Rosalind.
Great to see. She's happy, waving to the crowd, loving the pressure, loving the huge crowd we've got here. It's absolutely packed, standing room only.
Hayden Roberts back in Ben West's corner.
This is going to be tricky, this one for Aidan, I think. He's a young guy. He has competed a lot, but this sort of boulder takes a lot of slow, I'm going to call it slow concentration. You just got to slow everything down, have a really good thing as you're working your way and feeling your way through this bottom section.
Yeah, there's certainly no holds to pull down on the start of this. Everything is these little screw-ons on the underside of these big black volumes that you're just pushing on. You can't pull on anything. It's very strange. Combine that with some really bad footholds. It's a super hard boulder.
Aidan back on for another go. You can see what he's up against there, just his hands shaking under the tension on the thumbs just on that section of wall. Only contacted his thumbs, and that was really close. He just slipped. I think it was his left thumb slipped just as his right foot went.
Tommy Matthews back in with the brush there. 50 seconds on the clock. Still time to climb this boulder, I think. If we get this move into the corner.
Yeah, we saw Max having a go with just 25 seconds left, I think it was. So he does have time, but he's really just struggling through the section. He can't match Max's ability realistically through there at the moment. Max seemed to have that dial, but Aidan Roberts just can't seem to find the right sequence through there. That's what we saw with Alex Waterhouse as well. Just really struggling with this technical sequence. And when you have just 4 minutes, it's really hard to unlock these really technical moves.
Looks like he's going to have another go. In this format, there's lots of rest time between the problems themselves, so it's quite easy to have another go, run it down. Obviously, he's not made it to the zone yet, so I think that's probably his aim. If he can get across here fast enough, no. I think that's going to be the end of Aidan's attempts on block 2.
Yeah, that's the end of Aidan Roberts on block number 2, and in both categories we have the final 2 climbers left. In the men's, it's going to be Nathan Phillips. Did well on boulder number 1, got it top, it took him 3 attempts. And it's going to be Jennifer Wood, one of the firm favourites, coming out on women's number 2. Can she match the flash of Natalie Berry on women's number 1?
If Jen takes the flash on this, that'll put her to the top of the tree. That'll put her ahead of Natalie Berry.
But Nathan, another climber who's technically very sound, should be able to read this sequence. Shaking his head there. I think the local MCs is giving him a bit of stick. Keeping him on his
probably
toes.
asking him if he knows what he's doing. He's like, no, I don't. I've not got any idea.
Yeah, I've seen these next holds with no idea what to do. Just go up there and feel it out, and sometimes that's the only way. Just go and see what you can do. Move the feet around, move the hands around. He's doing that very well at the moment as Jen Wood secures the zone hold. No problem on women's number 2. Jen looking really strong here. Has the crimp on the top left-hand volume. Just moving her feet around, searching for options. We saw Natalie Berry matching that left-hand hold. Jen Wood looks like she's going to go direct. Thought she was in a bit of trouble, but in the end, pulled through really well on the left-hand slope. But look how bad that holds. And that was brilliant work from Jen Wood once again. Flashed boulder number 2 to match Natalie Berry's effort and put herself in a provisional first place.
Great to see now. Nathan's done well to get into this corner. He's through that horrible technical start section on the thumbs. He's located the zone, made sure of that.
This is a section then that Max Ayrton and Matt Cousins fell off. Going through to the next 2 big pinches, you can see they're giant orange blobs. Let's see if Nathan can kind of find something through here.
He's opting for the foothold on that lower volume. He's walked his feet down. Now he needs to go dynamically.
So close, so close to sticking that move. A big ooh and an ah from the crowd. They know how close that was, but it takes a long time to get through that section. With just 2 minutes left, does he have enough time now to get through to the end of the boulder?
I think you could hear the crowd thought he had that for a moment and then finished with an ooh, and he was down back on the mat. He's got 2 minutes. He's going to pull his chalk bag out. He's going to wear that. He's going to put that around his waist, carry some chalk up with him. He wants to get a bit of chalk on his hands to do that dynamic move. Let's hope he can get through that technical start again. Here we go with a replay.
Yeah, let's have another look at this then. Fired up really low off the right foot, and it's the same as Max Ayrton. It's the left-hand sloper that's really giving the problem. It's an extremely vertical, slopey hold, and it's really hard to get anything out of it, and you've really got to be strong compressing between those 2 volumes.
Nathan pulls back on then for his second attempt. He's got 1 minute 18 on the clock. Let's see how he goes.
Yeah, maybe just enough time if he gets through this bottom section cleanly. So with just 4 minutes to play with, if he falls off early here, he might just have another time for 1 more attempt. He's on his second go at the moment.
That was great. That was very steady away through there. Looking confident on this bottom section now, Nathan. Needs to be wary of the time. He can't be too slow. Very high foot. Look at that flexibility. His knee was above his shoulder, putting that foot on there. Crowd's now getting behind him. They want to see a top as much as he does.
Goes in for the chalk. That's what he's got the chalk bag for. He has forgotten to open it up though, so amazingly in that position. He's obviously very comfortable. He's enjoying himself, but he is running out of time here. He does just glance at the clock. Under 30 seconds left to find the top here for Nathan Phillips on men's number 2. He's just got his right hand in a slightly better position this time. This is looking good now. This is the move. The other 2 guys have fallen off. Nathan Phillips can get through to this. He's putting himself into great position. Big support from the crowd now. Eyes it up on the right hand side. Fires again.
Yes.
Sticks the move for the first time. Will he hit the top? He does. The crowd erupts here in Sheffield City Centre. Nathan Phillips, the only top so far on men's number 2. What an awesome effort that was.
That was superb. That was so well climbed. Right, such a fine line with the time there. The crowd went wild.
Yeah, crowd absolutely exploded there. They wanted to find a top as much as Nathan did, and that really puts the pressure on Dave Barons now. He's sitting backstage. He would have heard those screams. Dave Barons has got to come out and repeat what Nathan has just done, and that was an absolutely brilliant move. A fantastic timing move. Like we said earlier, got to look at 2 things at once. Fired across. He had 1 go at it before. Second go, no mistakes, and then just hammered it to the finish hole with maximum confidence. Brilliant work.
Dave Barons, he's out on the left-hand side. Anna Slaney just on the right-hand side, brushing the hold in preparation for her slopey volume challenge. Dave Barons wiping his feet. I'm sure he's got a little towel down there, giving his boots a quick clean.
Let's just have
Quick
another
replay
look.
here, very fast to this finishing hold. Knew the clock was running down. Happy man.
Yeah, just the foresight to think that he was running out of time, and he knew he had a big move ahead of him. No hesitation at all, and just jump for it. Brilliant. Those are the sorts of moments that potentially make you British champion. Let's see if Dave Barons can have something to say about that now, as Hannah Slaney is absolutely cruising here on women's number 2. This is the sort of boulder that she eats for breakfast. Just crimping her way up this. This is looking really good. Looks like she may be able to repeat what Jennifer Wood did and Natalie Berry. Hits it slowly, creeps onto it. Nice top for Hannah Slaney. She qualified in first position all the way through Saturday. Qualified in first position from semi-finals earlier today, and pushes herself back to the top of the leaderboard with 2 flashes.
Big smile there from Hannah. Dave Barons on the zone. First attempt still. 2 minutes 38 on the clock. This guy's got his chalk bag with him. He's thinking ahead a little bit. A little bit of chalk on the fingers. I think he has a good idea of what he's got to do.
This is it then for Dave Barons. First time he's got into this position. This is his flash go, his first go. Eyes it up on the right hand side. Hits it and sticks it first time. That's a show of power and performance there from Dave Barons. He's got plenty of time, doesn't need to rush. Will he just jump to the top like Nathan Phillips? He's taking his time. He's resting where other climbers have struggled. This is brilliant from Dave Barons. Hits it, 2 hands. That is an incredible flash. David Barons, 15 times at the British Championships, and shows his pure class.
That was absolutely fantastic ascent from Dave Barons there. A lot of power, a lot of control. He'll be really happy with that performance after the start.
What a cool boulder problem as well. Both the men's and the women's boulder problems there were extremely exciting. I really like the top of women's number 1 with the potential just to peel off right at the top, and the flip there, the double catch on men's number 2 was really dramatic. Great job from the team who are setting these boulders, and we're moving on to boulder number 3 already.
Well, that's it. We're halfway through this final. Boulder number 3 coming up. Maybe a quick opportunity for anybody in the crowd there to go and grab another beer, take a breather from that excitement on block 2. It's definitely buzzing out there. It's always really good to see such a appreciative crowd, and obviously we're going to get that here in Sheffield, the climbing centre of the United Kingdom.
I think a few Londoners would have something to say about that, guys. They can see it then halfway through the competition. It's Dave Barons with a fantastic flash on men's number 2 that leads the way, and Hannah Slaney also a flash on women's number 2, who leads the way through on boulders number 3 now.
From one dynamic boulder to another. Oh no, we've got a little pause. We've just got
just a quick reset on the clock there, I think it was, Gaz.
Yeah, a little technical incident, but
I think I heard the local commentator say that was his fault. He's a bit too keen, ready to get on with it, or keen to get to the bar. I'm not sure which one.
Probably keen to get back to his woodworking, actually. It's Percy Bishton on the microphone there. One of the most experienced setters we have in the United Kingdom. Picked up the mic today instead of putting some holes on the wall. Natalie Berry on with her first attempt on a boulder 3, halfway through this semi-final here in Sheffield.
Yeah, Natalie Berry currently sitting in 3rd position with I think that's 2 tops actually to her name.
Both of these boulders look quite dynamic in style again.
Yeah, I do say it is 1 top. It's got our computers just not up to date here. And on to the women's number 3, great fire out the left. That's actually, it's almost similar to the men's move actually. A bit of a double catch there for the women as well.
Yeah, so Natalie's got the crimp on the side of the volume there, and then she has to jump out with the left hand, catch the big sloper, and then flip the right hand to stop her falling off sideways. Very dynamic style. Great moves. Brilliant. Natalie through there with that double catch. Flip the right hand. Let's see if she can locate the zone. Solid on the zone. Few more moves. Somehow needs to get her foot off that foothold and get over. Big move up to this big sloper now. Come on, Natalie. Looking very strong is Natalie here.
Natalie Berry is on fire here this weekend. Come out of retirement effectively for this competition. Was known as a lead climber before and just started crushing here at the British Bouldering Championships.
I think she's surprising herself. The look on her face then when she came down and picked the chart bag up, she's like, oh no, what is happening here?
Yeah, a dream come true for Natalie Berry. She probably wouldn't have even ever dreamed of being in this position once she hung up her comp vest a number of years ago.
So, all eyes on Alex Waterhouse, the man in the shorts. Starting with a big jump on this men's. A big 1-2 catch. 1-2, perfect.
What a move again in the men's competition. Another fantastic move here. Brilliant 1-2 catch, a classic little dyno. High heel hook now from Alex Waterhouse, and he's just into a set of slopey volumes. There's no actual handholds on those, just the shape of the volume themselves. Hits up, it goes up with the right hand. He could potentially be wrong-handed here. Got to try and get his left hand. He does get his left hand. He's looking incredibly comfortable here.
One hand.
Top for Alex Waterhouse.
Brilliant.
Come on, he says, and the crowd responds. Great moment there from Alex Waterhouse. I thought he was in a bit of trouble, but managed to just match up and fire to the finish hole. That was ace.
It's like I said before, always wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a very excitable chap. You know, he can just raise his game. You think, where have you just pulled that from, Alex? And he's just done it there on block 3. Got his top. And here we go again. We've got Etty Warren out for the women. Matthew Cousins for the men.
Yeah, Etty Warren currently sitting in 6th place, but has got to be proud of herself. Just 16 years old. First British Championships. It might be her 2nd British Championship, but first finals, that's for sure. And Matt Cousins looking for that 2nd British Championship crown. Wants something to add to his trophy cabinet. Hits the dyno first time. He does those moves for breakfast. This is looking really good here. Straight away from Matt Cousins. Dials in that left-hand pinch. Will he go up with the right? Matches the right hand, as we saw with Alex Waterhouse. He has climbed that boulder in under 40 seconds. That was incredible from Matt Cousins.
He made that look like he was climbing out of bed.
An absolute walk in the park, and it looks like boulder number 3 could be a bit of a procession here in the men's competition.
We will see, but he was super confident when he pulled up for that dyno and executed it really solidly. Obviously something that's really dynamic like that, you've got to catch 2 holds that are a long way apart. It's really hard to see both holds at once. Back on with Etty Warren. This is our first real close view of this boulder. Here's the double catch.
Yeah, got to get a bit more height there. Got to be kind of a bit higher up in the shoulders to be able to compress between those two holds as the brusher moves in. Let's have another look here at Matt Cousins. Just absolutely pathing along it, climbing so fast, so confident. Struggled on men's number 2. Didn't find a top like Nathan and Dave did. So if he wants to win this competition, he definitely needed that top.
Back with Etty now on boulder 3 for the women. Had a little chat with Etty after her semi-final run, and she was really happy with her climbing. She really enjoyed herself. I don't think she's got really any expectations coming to this championship.
Looks like she's starting to tire a little bit to me. She's just having a sit down there just to run down the clock, try and get something back in those arms. Long weekend for these guys, especially if they're a little bit inexperienced. This is one of the first times she would have ever have gone through a climbing competition with this format, getting all the way to the finals, and you can see why she may be a bit tired, possibly a little bit frustrated there with this boulder.
That's it already. She's had 3 goes on this boulder as well, and obviously very hard, these boulders. When you've had 3 boulders, a semi-final before this, a qualifier before this, that's a lot of climbing. Those fingers are thin, those arms are super tired, but she's psyched. She's back on for a 4th go.
This is the move then. Can she fire up this time? Unfortunately, the same result after the rest. Has just over 1 minute to try and find something here. Etty Warren needs to find a bit more power through that section. Really big jump up into the compression move.
She'll take a little bit of time, make sure that she's doing everything right here. That's the 1 minute buzzer just gone. Checking her fingers, putting some chalk on.
Etty back in action then. Jumps up again, same result unfortunately. Looks like she's looking down at her fingertips there. I can imagine jumping to those slopey pinches is really taking her skin to town, really. Can't be much left on there. Blood will be coming out those tips really quickly, I think.
Yeah, she needs to be really careful with her fingertips, because if there is blood, then she may be asked to pull out of the event. But we shall see. Hopefully she's not gone through her tips yet.
This time then with 15 seconds left, jumps up, doesn't seem to be able to release the right hand just yet. Like I said before, just needs a bit more power through there. It's Natalie Berry then still leading the way with her attempt, top on that one in 3 attempts.
Yeah, Etty just walking away there, looking at her fingers again. Obviously, it's not just a physical test, it's a mental test at this point. There's a lot of pain in the body, in the fingers, in the skin. Another one who's had problems already with the skin. Rosalind. Sorry, pardon me. It's not Rosalind that's out there. It's Hannah Smith, 16-year-old Hannah Smith.
Yeah, Max Ayrton off to her right. Did well on boulder number 2, but couldn't find a top. We've seen a couple of really easy attempts on this one, I would say, so far. The guys so far, Alex Waterhouse and Matt Cousins, having no issues at all. So let's see what Max Ayrton has got. A nice little jump. Does miss the left hand that time. A little bit low on the right hand as well. So attempts could be crucial here. Do remember, for you guys at home, it is the maximum number of tops that is going to be the decider. And if there's a tie, it will come down to the number of zone holds and then the number of attempts to those tops in zone. So attempts are crucial, and nicely done here from Hannah.
That was very, very strong. That was a second attempt through that dynamic double catch into the match. Looking good here. Needs to concentrate. Hard on the feet here.
Looking really good here from Hannah Smith. Hits that top sloper. Just a close-up of what she's up against there. It's absolutely brutal. Head tilts back a little bit, but fires to the finish.
2 hands.
Nicely done. Great support from the crowd. Hannah Smith doing herself proud once again. Moves up a position into 4th. And that puts the pressure on the further female athletes still to come. Another 3 to come on this boulder, and they're going to be feeling the pressure a little bit, especially with that sort of double catch move at the bottom. It's really easy to wobble off such a move.
I think this is a man that doesn't really feel too much pressure. He certainly just enjoys climbing, whatever style of climbing it is, whether it's bouldering, deep water soloing, competition, internationals or nationals. taking his time just to relax. Big smile on his face, great to see. Such a nice chat, Max.
I think that's his way of dealing with the pressure. You know, he goes into like ultra calm mode rather than getting hyped like someone like Alex Waterhouse, or we saw earlier. He knows he just needs to stay focused and focus on the climbing. It has worked for him because he stuck the 1-2 catch on the first move there. Moves up now with a heel hook. This is looking better for Max. He's suffering with his skin a little bit. We've seen Cousins already top this boulder really easily, and it looks like it's going to be a nice steady away for top for Max in the end. 3 attempts. Nicely done.
Very cool, calm and collected from Max there. From that sitting on the mat, taking his time, relaxing, letting the clock run down a little bit, standing up and dispatching the boulder.
Yeah, as I was saying, that's his way of dealing with the pressure, I think, and that showed a classic example there. Just take a moment, just pretend that you're just at the climbing gym, just relaxing, just chilling. It's just a normal training day. There's not 1,000 people watching you. You're not live on the TV, and he just deals with it and climbs perfectly. Out next then, Aidan Roberts currently down in 6th position, and Rosalind Fruitney from Bristol currently in 5th position. Aidan Roberts was one of my picks to go away with a trophy here today, so he needs to find something pretty quick here. A flash would be ideal, and that's not going to happen because he's already fallen off. Didn't fire up with the left hand at all there.
Rosalind on now, straight into that double catch. Didn't quite make it, a little bit too far out from the wall with the hips. Sometimes it takes a few attempts just to get your eye in for these dynamic kind of movements where you can't focus on both holds at once. Let's see how she does this time.
This is the sort of boulder where you can start collecting a lot of attempts, and that could be crucial later on in the competition. But that's why the guys who have designed these boulders have done that, is to burn number of attempts and try and split the competitors if there is a tie on the number of tops. You can see there is still pretty warm out there. It's cooling slightly as we've got a cloud build up here. Still 28 degrees on the wall, and climbing is a friction-based sport. It's going to be tricky. That was close though. You can see her just paused on the holds there. The head tilted back a little bit. She's got to get a little bit higher, and she might be able to stick that.
Yeah, I think she needs to take a moment here. She's already had 3 attempts. There's still 2:40 on the clock. It's a long time in the climbing world to do this boulder. It's quite a fast boulder once you do this first jump. This is the one that's burning the time, burning the attempts. She just needs to relax, take a moment. Looks like it's what she's doing.
Remember, guys at home, you can get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Hashtag BBCs 2018. Let us know what you think of these boulders. Give the climbers some big ups. As Ros Fruitney has another go. Tries to go just with the left hand that time. Doesn't flip into the right hand undercut. It's got a bit more time in there. Just needs to release the right hand, which is hard to do considering that's the best hold of those 3 holds in that sequence.
Yeah, that right hand is going to come bad quite quickly though, because it is a crimp, and when you're underneath it, it works well. But as soon as the body comes up onto that left hand side pull, you do need to flip that right hand and catch the right hand side pull to hold yourself on. Still plenty of time though. Both climbers.
Yeah, Aidan Roberts just outshot. Is struggling on the start of men's number 3. This is not good news for Aidan, considering how Matt Cousins made that boulder look, and Max Ayrton and Alex Waterhouse for that matter. So to see someone struggling here is not good. That really is going to have a big impact on the competition there for Aidan Roberts, and very disappointing. But both climbers currently standing on the mat. Let's have a closer look at what's happening here with Aidan. Can he stick this move now? Close.
Very close. It looks just like he's favouring that right hand a little bit too much. Checking out his fingers. I'm sure he's losing a bit of skin there. Hopefully he's not losing any fingers.
Yeah, that would be a different story, I think. See him just peeling away layers of skin there as he's jumping to that hold. He's obviously suffering pretty badly in the heat here. Piles on the chalk though. But as we said earlier, there's no point in worrying about it now. You just got to crack on and see if you can make something happen for you.
Here he goes.
Really short on both holds there. Just tapping the right hand is not giving him enough momentum to jump out to the left.
Rosalind's last attempt on this was really, really close. Could this be the attempt? Oh, so close there.
See her just dip ahead. She knows that she's close, but she is running out of time.
Time and skin, I think. Come on, Rosalind. You can do this.
Aidan sticks it in the background there as well. A number of attempts to get him there. I think it's 9 attempts so far. Hits the zone hold. He has 15 seconds left. This is going to be a close one. Aidan Roberts now pushing through the zone hold onto the next volume. He's shuffling. He's got 8 seconds now. He needs to move it really, really fast. He can do it. 5 seconds remaining and gets it done. 9 attempts for Aidan Roberts. Attempts aren't the most important thing though, and he tops it. A brilliant, brilliant effort in the end from Aidan Roberts.
Great perseverance there from Aidan. Obviously his head was going down a little bit as he was looking at his fingers and struggling with the skin there, but perseverance paid out at the end of the day.
Well, with tops from David Barons and Nathan Phillips on boulder number 2, that was crucial to keep himself in the game there, keep himself in the running. Same goes for Matt Cousins and Max Ayrton. This is going to come down to the final boulder in the men's competition.
Nathan Phillips now out on the mat, and Jem Wood, local girl, a lot of support in the crowd for her.
Let's have another look here. He didn't really panic with the clock. He just knew that he could get through that section, shake of the head at the top. That was a close run thing.
Yeah, wishing he'd done that sooner. Both climbers lining up now. Jem Wood looks like she's the first one to pull on. I'm sure she knows what she's got to do here.
So Jen would admit that she is not the best at the jump, so let's see how she gets on this. She is looking really strong since the last time we saw her, and
solid.
That is a display of strength right there. Flashes the move, does it first time, as does Nathan Phillips on the right hand side. As we focus now on Jennifer Wood as she moves through this section, putting herself in a great position here. She moves up to first with that zone hold, flicks out with the left hand to another hold. She's got a couple of moves left. Jennifer Wood looking in great shape here, as is Nathan Phillips. Jennifer Wood on the left find the top. Simultaneously, Nathan Phillips on the right. This is going to go down to the wire.
That was a very solid performance from Jem Wood there. She's really laid her stall out. Flashed that boulder. Very impressive, looking super strong.
So pressure is on now for Hannah Slaney and Dave Barons. This is what we really want to see. We want to see a competition going down to the final boulder. Nathan Phillips, a pump of the fist, but what I was saying is there's a lot of pressure now on these final 2 climbers. They know these boulders have been topped multiple times and it's got it all to do.
And Hannah will obviously know that this time went very quick. She'll know that Jen flashed that boulder. That's one way to put the pressure on the current leader from the semi-final. Hannah Slaney currently sitting in 3rd place. Obviously she's got her 3rd boulder to climb.
Yeah, Hannah Slaney and Dave Barons both have attempts in hand here. Dave was 2 attempts on the first boulder and a flash on the second, and Hannah Slaney also found 2 flashes. So they do have attempts in hand here, and these are quite difficult boulders to flash, and Dave Barons is off, so things are going to get really tight now as Hannah Slaney pulls on. Again, not too comfortable on the jumps, but it didn't seem to have a problem for Jennifer Wood, and an action replay there from Hannah Slaney. Looking really solid here this weekend. Has to watch that black tape on the left-hand side. Make sure her foot doesn't drop outside of that. She's pushing towards the top of the boulder already here and is locked down on that left-hand crimp. See the tendons flexing in her forearm. She is so strong on that style of hold. Pushing towards the top now for Hannah Slaney. This is going to put her into a dream position going into the final boulder. She is struggling a bit. She's starting to grimace. Goes up with the right hand. Just needs to hit the good finishing hold. Nicely done for Hannah Slaney. Didn't seem to be affected by the pressure. Hannah Slaney will go into the final boulder. Top of the pack with 3 flashes.
There was a couple of little flutters there. I think her heart rate was high on a few of those moves. Back to Dave now. He's already had a couple of attempts. Right hand, left hand. Not quite managing to nail that left hand there. It's a quick 1-2, quite a large dyno. We had a little look at this earlier on, and those holds that they're jumping from and the holds that they're jumping to are certainly not very good.
So Dave needs this to keep in touch with Nathan Phillips. A number of guys are on 2 tops at the moment. Dave is one of the shorter competitors by a margin, really, and but he does have usually bags of power to kind of make up for that.
Yeah,
this route is a big move, to be fair.
It is quite a big move, and it was set by somebody that was very similar size to Dave. Jamie Cassidy was the route setter. He's the chief today. He's one of the most highly qualified international setters in the world. So he's super experienced, and he's very fit and strong at this moment in time. So Dave lines himself up, wipes his feet, pulls on. very nicely, very smooth through that. 1-2, super slowly. He probably just wishes that happened earlier on. Right heel, secured the zone. Top, one hand, two hand.
Yeah, got it done in the end. A true show of experience there from Dave Barons. Didn't let the panic set in and got his top to match Nathan Phillips with 3 boulders heading into the 4th. Those guys underneath him, all with 2 tops, have to do boulder number 4 if they want to stay in touch with Dave Barons and Nathan Phillips. It's those two really are leading the pack. In the women's, it's Hannah Slaney still leading the way, quite easily above Jennifer Wood.
Yeah, this last boulder is going to be interesting for both fields, both men and women. Jen Wood definitely staying in touch with Hannah at the moment. Hannah on a flash fest. She's done every boulder. First attempt. Nathan Phillips just seems to be improving at the moment. 3 attempts on the first boulder, 2 on the second, flash on the third. 1 boulder left in this British Championships here in Sheffield.
It's coming down to the wire, Gaz. That is what we want to see. A true show, the best of British here on display. In terms of what we've got in front of us, it's absolutely brilliant and an epic show so far. The athletes putting on a brilliant display, really, and it is coming down to the wire. Natalie Berry then in 3rd position currently, 2 tops in 4 attempts as it stands. She needs to find 3 attempts. If she flashes it, that'll be 3 attempts in 5, so she can't progress really any further than 3rd position, unfortunately, if the maths is correct.
Who knows? We shall see. But she's sitting pretty there in 3rd place. Alex Waterhouse down in 6th. He's still topped out on 2 boulders, but he's still sitting at the bottom of the pack there in 6th place. Natalie's on with her first attempt. Quite smoothly through his first couple of movements. Into the left-hand shoulder, locating that thumb. Hard move out to that zone hold now. Zone is secured.
Good work here once again from Natalie Berry, doing absolutely everything she can. She really can't do much to the leaderboard, unfortunately, due to how well Hannah and Jenny Wood have climbed, but that's a great work. Natalie Berry can hold her head high at the end of the competition. Does move into a provisional 1st place due to the number of zones that she's secured, and assuming the others do well, she may be knocked off that provisional 1st place.
Definitely possible looking down here.
It's getting so tight, and this is where it gets really sweaty in the commentary box. We've got to figure out all the scores on the fly. It's getting really, really tense. Alex Waterhouse then. Let's focus on him for now. Can he go out with a bang to match his shorts? Hard move here at the start.
Very similar move that we've seen on the hard boulder over in the left-hand corner for the men, and also what we saw for the women. It's a dynamic move from the left to the right. A double catch, I think. Looks like there may be a few different ways to do this. He's not quite got the measure of it. He's trying to work it out again. Be questioning his method. Very close. Big scream from him there. He was really close then. Alex asks his fellow competitor Tommy Matthews to brush the holds for him. Tommy obliges. 1 minute 30 on the clock. Alex is getting the crowd to support him, getting them behind him. So close.
Power screams from Alex Waterhouse once again. He knows how to try hard.
He's got nothing to lose now. This is the last boulder for him. It's his last few attempts. He's got 1 minute left in his British Championship competition. Quick brush of the holds. There's the buzzer for the 1 minute warning.
This is going down to the wire. As we said, once again, it could come down to the number of zone holds secured. That's the hold with the red tape halfway up the boulder. That's that's great. I was just about to say the zone hold can be the difference between competitors if there is a tie. So number of zone holds and attempts at zone holds is key.
Back in for another go. 25 seconds on the clock. He's psyched. He's dialed that first move. Next jump. Oh!
Brilliant moment. What a showman. Put on a fantastic performance here from Alex Waterhouse. Takes the bow from the crowd. A great show. Alex Waterhouse won't be troubling the scorers, unfortunately, on the podium. It doesn't look like, but a great performance nonetheless. All the way from New Hampshire. Great effort and very good to watch.
I'm sure he'll be super pleased with that. It was a really good performance. He enjoyed every minute of it. The crowd enjoyed every minute of it also.
Well, this is going to start to get tense now then, Gaz, with Matt Cousins. He is in third position at the moment with his 2 tops in 3 attempts. He does have 3 zones also, so he's got to find something really quick here. Can put himself in the provisional first. Has another attempt in hand.
Flash of this boulder is obviously going to be critical to see Matt stay where he is, or at least move up the scoreboard as well. Currently sitting on the podium position. 1 boulder to go.
That's 1 attempt used already. Attempts are crucial here.
Etty pulls onto her 4th boulder, making steady progress at the start of the boulder. Into this shoulder hold. Holding it, yeah, does go for the shoulder press.
Matt Cousins, does stick the jump on the men's competition as well. You can just see him in shot there. This is crucial. Etty's doing really well as well. Matt Cousins is in a really contorted position on the left-hand side. His shoulders are absolutely straining under there. Just steps out on the black tape on the left-hand side. It's going to be interesting what the judge says about that. This is going to be crucial here. The crowd has gone a bit silent because they did spot that. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Matt Cousins is still pushing towards the top, and he will find the top. He has been called off the wall. Tragedy here for Matt Cousins. The judge has pulled him off the wall. They pulled him off late. There obviously was a big discussion about it. He did step outside of the black line. You cannot touch the wall outside of the black line.
That's
it's
right,
simple.
Michael. That's absolutely right. But what he does need to do now, he's already climbed the boulder. He knows he's climbed the boulder. He needs to pick his head up. He's got 2 minutes on the clock. He's got lots of time to get up there again. This is where he really needs to dig deep. He's got 2 minutes left of the British Championship and his attempt to solidify his position on the podium.
Nathan Phillips is up there at the moment with 3 tops in 6 attempts. Matt Cousins has already had 2 attempts, so he would need to do something on his next go if he's going to be endangering the top of the leaderboard. He is back on and he's fighting now. This is where Matt Cousins' personality really works for this style of competition. The fury drops in, and just as I say that, he drops off the wall. He's got to compose himself here, just as Gaz said.
That was really unlucky there. He was onto that jump over to the yellow volume and then a little foot slip. Just still needed some weight on that foot to stay on. Couldn't hold the volume and he's back on the mat. 1 minute 15 left for Matt.
So if my calculations are correct, Matt Cousins cannot surpass Nathan Phillips, so he won't be the 2018 British champion, but he's out there fighting anyway. Attempts are so crucial here. Now he's back into that horrific looking high step with the left foot. His shoulders are straining. He must be burning now after that method where he got pulled down from the wall. 52nd, he has plenty of time. Surely Matt Cousins is digging deep here. Can he find another top? He's trying hard once again. He's giving it absolutely everything. Power screams to finish. Very, very well deserved in the end from Matt Cousins. That was absolutely awesome in the end.
That's a great performance in the end too.
Looking for the VAR, which doesn't exist on the replay there. He can appeal. If he's not happy, he can appeal, but if what we watched live, I would say that appeal won't be won, unfortunately. That is heartbreaker for Matt Cousins.
But he got himself together, he pulled back on, and he's got to the top of the boulder, which is really an important factor for him. He's sitting up there at the top of the leaderboard at the moment.
Yeah, sitting up there due to the number of zones. So if David Barons or Nathan Phillips have a complete disaster, it could happen. You never know. It could happen.
Worst things have happened at sea, that's for sure, Michael.
This is getting really close here. I hope you guys are enjoying at home. Remember, hashtag BBC's 2018. Let us know what you're thinking at home. Let us know who's going to take this away. Max Ayrton then also has potential here. 2 tops in 4 attempts and 3 zones for him at the moment. 3 zones in 7 attempts, so he does have a couple of attempts in hand here.
Quick step onto his cloth there to clean his boots. He knows what he's got to do. And he's off that first move, that first dynamic double catch. He's off. Back on the mat. He's asking the brushers to come in.
So Max with his 2 tops in 4 attempts. It's Nathan Phillips who he's chasing with 3 tops in 6. And Matt Cousins up there with his 3 tops in 7. It's so close now.
Hannah Smith getting ready to pull on for her 2nd attempt on this 4th boulder. All 4 points of contact on those blue stripes, and she's off now into that left shoulder. Hard move on this shoulder into this undercut. Delicate to move the feet. Very bad foothold with that right foot. Looking a bit tired there now. 16-year-old. Her body's definitely going to be aching at this point. The fingers are going to be sore. She's got to dig deep. She's got plenty of time on the clock to actually make something happen here. 2 minutes 40.
Max Ayrton already had 2 attempts. Like I say, attempts are crucial at this stage in the competition. Has come down to the final boulder. Let's have another look here. Hannah just pivoted on the right foot, couldn't quite control that left hand shoulder hold. Matt Cousins, we've just seen walking to our right. To say the toys are out the pram wouldn't be fair, but it wouldn't be far off the mark.
He'll be taking a moment just to sit down and get his thoughts back together. He's just got to sit there and wait it out. See what happens. Nothing more Matt can do.
But that passion is what makes Matt such a great climber. That's what you need at this level. Pure passion to win. It's Max Ayrton who we focus on now, who is still putting in a great performance here. This is possibly his best British Championship result so far to date. He's got to watch the black tape as well. It was on this further section that Matt Cousins had the issues, and Max is pushing
on the left
now.
Side. Looking good though. Get that right foot up. That was a great attempt by Hannah. Just seen it disappear out the shot. Very, very high on that boulder that time.
And it's Max Ayrton now who's going to be mantling out into this top section. Has to push it out, got to push through the shoulders. Gets a bit of a lean on there, gets a bit of assistance from the hip. Now he's just got to push. You can see the triceps on the left arm straining. He seems relatively comfortable in that position, but he has to keep pushing, and it just falls backwards. That was so strange. He just run out of beans and just collapsed.
One extreme to the other. That left hand hold that he had his hip on is such a big hold, and the right hand pressing up into that undercut in that volume. It's so rounded, it's so poor. Both climbers on the mat now. Quick replay. Couldn't quite hold that. Exploded out from the wall. Max and Hannah stepping up to the wall again. Max getting the crowd excited.
Max wants the crowd behind him. I think he can do this with 30 seconds left. Is he going to give it another go? It's a bit of a yes-no with the crowd.
Everyone's getting behind Hannah now into the shoulder. Zone hold next. She holds it. Can she move the feet up? Looking good. Drop knee.
Really good here from Hannah Smith on the top of the final boulder of her. Dials up the finish hold, hits it. A fantastic competition for Hannah Smith. Hold your head high, just 16 years old. Absolutely brilliant top. Stays in 4th position, but what a competition from the young lady.
That smile said it all, didn't it? That was a very, very happy Hannah Smith at the top of that boulder.
Aidan Roberts, the next one to trouble the scorers then. He also has 2 tops. Looking
Aidan
at that,
Roberts, and behind him, Rosalind Fruitney, and we saw quickly just on the left-hand side, that was Zoe giving us a wave. Zoe's works for the BMC as one of the major organisers behind this event. She's done a fantastic job this weekend.
So, Aidan Robertson, those 9 attempts have really hindered him coming into the 4th boulder. 9 attempts on boulder number 3 has come to really hurt him here. Maybe he can match the other guys with the 3 top club, but it's not going to be much more than 3rd place as it stands, if all carries on as it is for Aidan Roberts.
Rosalind first to pull on. All 4 points of contact on those blue stripes. Looking quite solid at the start of this boulder, this fourth boulder for Rosalind. Can she take that undercut pinch, swap the feet? Looking good.
That was a good big spill in the background there from Aidan Roberts, just shaking his head off there a little bit. A big hard fall, but Rosalind Fruitney going really well here on women's number 4. Skin or no skin, Rosalind Fruitney is looking like she's going to pounce to the finish hold, hits it. Oh, and Heartbreak Hotel off the top of the wall. The MC here almost started congratulating her and she drops it off the top.
One hand on the finishing hold and couldn't quite hold the swing as the feet came out from the wall. Plenty of time for Rosalind though yet. She's got to compose, chalk the hands. She should probably rest a little bit. Aidan back on the wall. Strong out on that first move, not even having to do it as a jump, just shoulder pressed it out. Very solid through the jump. Let's see what he can do now. He's got to press out leftwards onto that large orange volume. That's it. Zone. Zone secured. Got to watch that black tape over on the left-hand side of that wall. He does take a quick look down, realises he's very close to it. Chalking up and relaxing now. Aidan looking strong through this boulder. I think he's just going to take a little rest there. Yeah, look at that. Both hands off. He's the only person to have worked that out yet. Crowd are appreciating it. Be nice if he gave us a little wave, but no, he's carrying on climbing. Shuffles up a little bit further. Plenty of time for him on the clock. 1 minute, 45 seconds and counting down. This is the move, getting the foot out. Oh, once he brings that hip out, he needed to lift that left foot up onto that orange volume, just like Matt Cousins did. But he's back on the mat, and it all starts again. He's got to. You can see the breathing there. He's tired, he's breathing heavy. Rosalind back on. Looking tired now, that body's aching, fingers are sore. Both climbers, this is probably going to be one of their last attempts now. They need to dig really deep. Get psyched. That's the 1 minute buzzer's just gone. Both climbers biding the time. Last chance. Rosalind is back on, followed by Aidan. Aidan solid through that first move. Into the jump. Looking good. Needs to move quite quickly now. The clock's counting down. 28 seconds, mind the tape.
Aidan Roberts playing for pride here as he pushes it out one more time towards the top of this boulder. Shoulders must be burning. Goes for another cheeky little sit down on that left hand side, but it's not getting into that position that's difficult. It's getting out of it and getting moving again. Pushes and pushes and pushes. Oh, and double hands off. That is impressive. No hands.
Got to move
towards
fast
the top of the
now.
boulder.
4, 3, 2. Slipped out again. That's Aidan Roberts and Rosalind Fruitney's British Championships over for now. Sure, we'll see them again next year.
So this is where it gets really tense now, guys. Everyone's just going to take a breather because they need to double check the scores, because it is going to come down on both categories to the final 2 climbers. Jen Wood needs to at least find a zone hold, and if she finds a zone hold, then she needs to find a top, and Hannah Slaney would have to find nothing at all. So it's really close. Jen Wood needs to basically find a zone and hope that Hannah has an absolute disaster, and the way this boulder is going, it is going to be a really close run thing here. Nerves are on edge here for the 1,000 or so people who are in the crowd. Everybody is waiting, and Nathan Phillips, currently with 3 tops in 6 attempts and 3 zones in 8 attempts, has a couple of attempts in hand here, and if he does it within 2 attempts, I think it is, Dave cannot catch him. It is really close now. Jennifer Wood then pulls on. She has to do this and find, well, she needs to find a zone, and as we said, for Hannah Slaney to really struggle. So here we go. Jen Wood, British Bouldering Championships, is on the line right now.
Looking very strong through these first few moves. Jen moving up onto that shoulder.
looking for the zone hold. That's the next hold. Nathan Phillips is cruising on the left-hand side as well. Nathan Phillips could be about to take away the British title here if he finds 4 tops really quickly. It's looking really good for both these climbers at the moment. Nathan Phillips is very close to the win of the British title here. Finds the zone hold. Jennifer Wood has found a quick top on the left. She's just going to be come down to Hannah Slaney now. Nathan Phillips is in for a shout here for winning the British title. Jennifer Wood takes a provisional first. It's all down to Hannah Slaney, and Nathan is off.
Nathan is on the mat. Jem Wood has done everything she can. She's flashed that 4th boulder. The gauntlet has been laid down. It's all down to Hannah Slaney now to take the title away from Jem Wood.
Yeah, it's going to come down to attempts as well. Hannah Slaney flashes it, she wins. Oh, I couldn't get much closer than this, guys.
Nathan Phillips, after that attempt, he got super high on that boulder, looked very good, and then just peeled out backwards, and he's back on the mat. 2 minutes 16 on the clock. That's it. Gives a little wave to the crowd. Come on, Nathan. Strong through that first move.
Nathan Phillips then still with the British title in his crosshairs. Has a look now, got to be careful. It looks like he's opting for something completely different. He's going to jump to the finish hold from there. That could have been all or nothing there for Nathan Phillips. A real surprise. With 1 minute 40 left, he's tried to skip the obvious sequence and jump straight to the finish hold. Now what is he going to try? This is the British title hanging on this attempt, on the method that Nathan's going to employ here. For me, guys, that is really risky.
Really hanging by a thread. 1 minute 20, he's got the time. Has he got the strength? What an amazing finish.
Yeah, my heart is racing here. He pulls on once again. Nathan Phillips has got an opportunity still here for the win. His attempts are racking up really fast. It's going to come down to Dave Barons at the end to see what he can do. The calculators are working in overdrive here as Nathan Phillips opts to go left this time. Was risky going out right, but maybe he wanted to try and secure the win early doors. Now he's on to the volume and relaxing. It's just 45 seconds left for Nathan Phillips. He needs this now because Davy Barons is looking deadly this weekend. Here he goes, he gets the crowd ready, pushes up off the right foot, mantles on the left hand. The crowd is giving it absolutely everything behind him. We've seen climbers get into this position and struggle. Max Ayrton fell off from this position. 30 seconds left now from Nathan Phillips. He's opening the door here for Dave Barons. He's opening the door for everybody behind him. This is so close now.
Warwick's foot, pressing it up. This is hard. We've seen lots of people here falling off. Come on, Nathan, trying hard.
He's in big trouble here, guys, and you can see he was just wobbling. Nathan Phillips stays where he is. He's in provisional first position with the zone hold there. It's the number of tops, then the number of zone holds. So Nathan Phillips currently sitting above Matt Cousins, but David Barons.
What an opportunity now for David. What an opportunity.
And for Hannah Slaney. Hannah Slaney, she flashes it, she wins. She does it second go, she wins on countback. Wow, what an end to the competition. Let's keep our eyes really focused on these climbers now. This is where it went all wrong for Nathan. He is going to be having nightmares about this forevermore.
I think he needs to get that hold on his training board.
How did he fall off there? He opted for that go to jump straight to the finish. Maybe used all of his energy. Absolute heartbreak hotel for Nathan Phillips. Now he has the most agonizing weight of his life. Will he be able to take his first ever British title, or will that man Dave Barons collect another one for his rather large trophy cabinet?
That's it, 36-year-old mild-mannered Barons.
Hannah Slaney has two attempts in hand as well. Jennifer Wood has the nervous weight. She wants to be the one who's crowned British title, not Hannah. She wants to be the one who takes the first ever British title, and Dave Barons burns an attempt already.
Surprised that he had to go dynamic on there. We've seen the last couple of climbers with Phillips and Roberts go very strong through that first shoulder.
Hannah Slaney pulls on for her first attempt then. If she can secure this problem first go or second go, she takes away the title for the first ever time as a British Bouldering Champion. Slight wobble there, but you can see her fingers clamping down now. Crimps it really hard, looking really good here. Hannah Slaney is lining up the final hold. to take the title as British champion. Checks the feet, moves up easily now with the right hand, and there she has it, 2 hands. Hannah Slaney, British Bouldering Champion 2018. No problems in the end.
Fantastic reaction from the crowd there. Big smiles from Hannah Slaney and a wave to the crowd. Brilliant scenes here in Sheffield.
So close now, but the pressure continues to mount. Dave Barons may be feeling it now. Just over 2 minutes to go. Opts for the flip, sticks it, gets the 1-2. This is it now for Dave Barons. Has got to find something here. The attempts are really counting now. It's too many attempts to zones to count on the fly. David Barons, if he finds the tops, he wins. And will he find a top here? Pushes it out, mounts the volume on the left-hand side with the forearm, gets into a comfortable position. This is where we saw Max fall off. This is where we saw Nathan fall off. Dave Barons is pushing it out for the win here. Can he be the only climber to find a top here? Will it be 4 tops for the win?
On, off, on.
Oh no! Impossible not to show the emotion as Dave Barons just peels off backwards.
That was a collective sigh from the whole arena. 1,000 plus people all signed together as Dave peeled off the back of there. I'm having to keep swapping hands with this microphone. I can't hold on to it. My hands are sweating
out
so
my
much.
hands. What would it feel like to be Matt Cousins and Nathan Phillips at this moment? Let's have another look. Just wobbled backwards. He's struggling to find anything out of that undercut blob there. And has David Barons ever been in a more pressured situation than this? It is an absolute nail biter. 1 minute left then for Dave Barons to push himself from 3rd to 1st. Gets the crowd going. This is it now. This is for the title. Possibly his last go if he gets through this first move smoothly. Dave Barons pulls on to try and take the British Bouldering Championships 2018. Little wheel spin at the bottom. Nerves are jangling here for Dave Barons. He has time to reset. Nathan Phillips must be absolutely on the edge of his seat, as is Matt Cousins.
He's going to have to motor fast now. He's got 30 seconds to climb this boulder. It's a fast and dynamic boulder, but he can't get through this first move again. Back for another try. Trying his hardest.
David Barons is running out of time here. 20 seconds. He's really got a motor here. Struggling with this first move. And he's giving up. Nathan Phillips takes the crown. David Barons cannot progress. A big upset really on the last boulder. We saw some early great attempts on that. Matt Cousins manages to somehow squeeze into 2nd place, ruining that black tape incident. Dave Barons, did he know, Gaz? Did he know if he did it, he would win?
Yeah, I think he knew that. He's so experienced. His 15th year here, competing in the British Championships. He's straight over to Nathan Phillips, congratulating him on taking the title. So much respect between all these climbers. They compete together, they travel together. Here's a replay. Hannah matching the finishing hold. Big smile on her face. British title.
That was an absolute nail biter. What an epic way to finish the competition. Such a good event all the way through. It's brilliant for it to go all the way down to the wire. It's really, really hard to concentrate here now because it was so intense all the way through. The crowd loved it. We loved it here. Hopefully you guys loved it at home. Very shortly we'll be able to hear from the athletes. And we're going to go straight into an interview now with the winner, Nathan Phillips, and in the females, Hannah Slaney.
Well, I'm just joined by Nathan and Hannah. What a fantastic competition was that.
Yeah, it was crazy. Watching Dave on the last one, I was so stressed.
that was really, really close, yeah?
Yeah.
And Hannah, how are you feeling now?
Really good. It was such a tense competition and no time to relax at all.
You sound like it really hasn't settled in yet.
No, not at all. It was, honestly, it's so close. I'm so happy to pull it out the bag.
And Nathan, well done, finally. Your first title.
Yeah.
What's that feel like?
It's about time, I think.
Yeah, I agree as well.
For a while and yeah.
Well, you've definitely been on form this year, so it's really nice to see that actually happen.
Yeah, I've been feeling good on the World Cup circuit this year, and it's good to come back to the UK and finally win a national title.
And where are you going from here?
We're actually flying out to South Africa tomorrow for a month in climbing in Rocklands, which would be
brilliant.
Nice. Yeah.
Climbing on the best place on the earth.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Nice.
And Hannah, what's next for you? Have you got some more competitions coming up in the next few months?
Yeah, actually, I fly out to Chamonix on Tuesday to do a lead World Cup.
So it's non-stop, really. You flew in from Villars a few days ago.
Oh, no, I didn't do Villars.
Okay. you were focusing on this instead, and now we're on to Chamonix.
Yeah, hopefully I can keep it going.
How do you find switching between the two disciplines, between the bouldering and the lead? Because you're going to tie into a rope in Chamonix, and you're going to try and climb 25 metres up an overhanging lead wall.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see, but all the moves will be really hard, so hopefully I'll be okay.
Well, brilliant. Thanks very much, Hannah, and thanks very much, Nathan.
No
Congratulations to you both, our British champions, ladies and gentlemen.
So great to hear from the finalists there, and how they managed to control their emotions for an interview is always staggering. Fresh off the wall, fresh from winning the title, and they get mobbed by the crowd, mobbed by their fans. And let's have a look then. This is how it went down. First place, Hannah Slaney, fantastic for her. The perfect result. 4 tops in 4 attempts, can't ask for more than that. Jennifer Wood close behind. It was a really close run thing between the two of them. Went down to the wire. Natalie Berry, a surprise entry really for the competition in Hull, comes up with the bronze medal. Hannah Smith, just 16-year-old, takes away the 4th position. Ros Fruity struggling all the way through the competition with skin, managed to take away a well-deserved 5th position. And Etty Warren, fantastic for her, doesn't find a top in the final, but does really, really well to get through to the final in the first place and put on a great show. In the men's competition, it was that man, Nathan Phillips, who took it away from Matt Cousins and Dave Barons. Dave Barons had an opportunity to win it there with these 3 previous attempts, but it is Nathan who takes the win. And Matt Cousins, after a bit of an incident on the last boulder, it didn't matter in the end because he couldn't find a top on men's number 2. David Barons will be ruining that moment forever when he fell off the penultimate hold on men's number 4. He had the opportunity to take away the title. Max Ayrton came in on 4th, a very great and well-rounded performance from him. Aidan Roberts will be looking to improve on that next year, when you kind of have to think with international duties coming up for him. And Alex Waterhouse put on a great show, 2 tops for him, and he came out in 6th place in the end. And Gaz, we just have an opportunity now before they do the podiums. Great to hear from the winners there, Nathan and Hannah.
Yeah, obviously you could tell with Hannah's voice there, she's pretty emotional about what she's just achieved. I don't think she's really came into this with too much expectation, but she's walked away with the title. And Nathan, about time. That top of the podium, finally, he's got the 1st place around his neck.
Yeah, there you can see him. They're just waiting to do the presentation, a little bit of chat, get it all organised. And when will it settle in? You've won this British Bouldering Championships before. Will it be in 10 minutes time? Will it be when they're stepping on the top of the podium, or will it be in a couple of weeks time when they've had a chance to watch this back and reflect?
I think it'll probably be for Nathan when he's sitting on that plane flying to South Africa tomorrow to go bouldering in Rocklands. Probably one of the best places to go and enjoy this title you could imagine.
Yeah, what a competition though, all the way through. Incredibly well set boulders, a great spectacle, great results on the other hand, and just fantastic all the way through this weekend. And well done to the BMC for arranging it. It's been a fantastic weekend all in all.
What a fantastic final. I mean, great crowd, great weather, a great team putting on this whole event with Sheffield Council and the British Mountaineering Council. What a brilliant weekend.
Yeah, you can see just on the shot here, close up, it's Matt Cousins and Dave Barons, very close friends, travelled the world competing together. Matt still having a bit of a discussion, I think, about that 4th boulder, and not happy still up there. That black tape incident, it did look pretty clean cut. He would have put in an appeal, but I'm sure someone would have said, unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be for him. He was the winner in 2016, and nice that someone else gets to take away a medal for a change. And Hannah Slaney, she looked great all weekend. She was the favourite coming into this competition. She won the qualifying round, won the semi-final round, and takes away the win with 4 flashes. Can't ask for more than that.
No, she was very, very solid throughout the whole event. Just showed her class. Like she said, she's off on Tuesday. She's flying out to Chamonix. She's going to go and compete there in the Lead World Cup. She took a break from Villars last weekend, or this weekend actually, to come and compete here, and now is walking away with the title.
On with the medal ceremony then, the bronze medal, and very well deserved. A good turn up for the books for Natalie Berry, back into competition climbing, back on the international scene, and takes away a bronze. Obviously a number of key athletes missing this weekend, but can't really take anything away from her there.
Yeah, she'll be really, really happy with that. A return back to competition for Natalie Berry, and a 3rd place.
Yeah, silver medal goes to Jennifer Wood. She wanted the win. Realistically, it was going to be between the 2 of them. The 2nd place is not to be sniffed at really. And the winner, as we said, Hannah Slaney, top step of the podium, fantastic, a new British bouldering champion. There you have it, 1, 2 and 3.
Big smiles all around there. 3 excellent performances from Natalie, Jennifer and Hannah Slaney. Top of the podium. Your British champion, everybody.
Moving on to the presentation in the men's then, dishing out the medals there. Zoe from the BMC, Niall Grimes, local to Sheffield. Third place, could have been first easily. Like we said, he's going to be watching this back tonight and just thinking what could have been. Kind of just didn't have anything left in the tank there at the end. Not sure if it was skin or fatigue or pressure, but so close.
There's always so little to choose between these 3 climbers. Dave Barons, Matt Cousins, Nathan Phillips. They're such good friends and such good competitors.
Yeah, and these are the 3 who are competing all together around the world. They deserve these top 3 steps. Competed hard. Matt Cousins unfortunately couldn't find a top on men's number 2, where Nathan and Dave found fantastic tops on that, and that was what did it for them really. Nathan Phillips then, the new British Bouldering champion.
Well, I think it's going to take a little bit of time to sink in for Nathan there, but what a good job.
Well, that wraps up another fantastic British Bouldering Championships from Sheffield City Centre. It's been an epic weekend. From me, Mike Langley.
And me, Gaz Parry.
We'll see you again next year. Thank you so much for watching.
Goodbye.